crowd is moving out into the parking area. And, oh yes, I can see it now. It's a helicopter. And it's coming this way.
A helicopter?
It's flying something behind it. I can't quite make it out. It's a large banner. And it says, Happy Thanksgiving. From W. Ladies and gentlemen, what a sight. The copter seems to be circling the parking area now. I guess it's looking for a place to land. No, something just came out of the back of the helicopter. It's a dark object. Perhaps a skydiver plummeting to the earth from only 2,000 feet into the air. Second and a third. There's no parachutes yet.
Those can't be skydivers. I can't tell just yet what they are, but... Oh, my God, they're talking! Oh, Johnny, can you get this? Oh, they're crashing to the earth right in front of our eyes! One just went through the windshield of a parked car! This is terrible.
The crowd is running around, pushing each other. Oh, my goodness! Oh, the humanity! Oh, people are running about. The turkeys are hitting the ground like sacks of wet cement. I don't know how much longer the crowd is running for their lives. I think I'm going to step inside. I can't stay out here and watch this any longer. No, I can't go in there.
Children are searching for their mothers, and not since the Hindenburg tragedy has there been anything like this. I don't know how much longer I can hold my position here, Johnny. The crowd...
Les, are you there? Les isn't there. Thanks for that on-the-spot report, Les. For those of you who just tuned in, the Pinedale Shopping Mall has just been bombed with live turkey. Film at 11.
Should have worked.
Can I help you?
No, I'm fine. Sir? It was the most unusual promotion idea I ever heard of. Never been anything else like it.
No, I don't suppose there has.
I thought it would work. I planned this thing right down to the last detail. It was perfect. Where'd you get those birds?
Les, are you okay? I don't know. A man and his two children tried to kill me. After the turkeys hit the pavement, the crowd kind of scattered, but some of them tried to attack me. I had to jam myself into a phone booth. Then Mr. Carlson had the helicopter land in the middle of the parking lot. I guess he thought he could save the day by turning the rest of the turkeys loose. Gets pretty strange after that.
It's strange. Yeah, right. No, Les, come on now, tell us the rest.
I really don't know how to describe it. It was like the turkeys mounted a counterattack. It was almost as if they were organized.
All right, everybody, welcome back to yet another edition, the Black Friday Thanksgiving weekend edition of the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus with my wonderful co-host, Mr. Kevin O'Connor.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, my goodness. How about that turkey? Did you get enough this weekend, my friend?
I got everything. Turkey, ham, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes. I got it all, Lou.
We got a great show for you if you're not too sluggish from all that food. By the way, do you do any shopping?
No,
No
sir.
No shopping.
I stay away on days like Black Friday. Yeah.
Well, we got a great show for you guys tonight. We're going to get started right now with a band. This is a band called Satin Hearts. They were formerly known as Strange Brew. And about 3 weeks ago, I ran into their drummer at Starbucks, and I'm like, Chris, and he's like, Lou, and we was like this big thing. Anyways, Chris had worked in Super Monkey for a while. That's how we knew each other. So Chris Bellin, thank you. So he got back with me. He says, I'm going to send you our stuff. I said, send it because we want to play you guys. And okay, let's just get right into it. This is Zombies by Satin Hearts on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Whoa, zombies everywhere, guys.
It's a good thing we don't have cameras in here while we're doing this.
We were
Because
rocking.
Lou and I, we do every stereotypical white guy dance in our seats,
Air drums, air
Air
guitar.
drums, air bass, we do it all.
Satinhearts.com. And if you want to see these guys, let's see, what the heck are they doing this week? Tonight they're at NOLA, if you want to make it down there. But December 5th, Ferrante Lakeview in Greensburg. Then back to NOLA on the 10th. Walker's Bar in Crescent Township. You guys play that?
Walker's, no. We played Magoo's.
Magoo's. Hey Andy's in Monongahela. and the Doubletree in Washington on December 19th. So they've got a good schedule. Go to thesatinhearts.com, and their gigs are all there. You can see everything that they're doing. So
wow.
Good jams.
I like that, man.
Anyways, I'd like to thank our sponsors. We've got Click Vodka and Positively Pittsburgh Live for helping us put this all together. Good people.
Indeed.
And so please go to pplmag.com and get involved with everything that Joanne's got going on there. And I have an announcement to make.
Okay.
I have an announcement to make.
Should I sit down?
You better sit down.
I am sitting down.
Well, first of all, before I make my announcement, you can find us on the internet at LoudiniRock'n'RollCircus.com. Please follow us on Twitter at LLStrangelove. And I have been asked now to be a writer for the online magazine Blues Rock Review.
Shut up. No,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead and talk. You can talk.
You can find out more about that at bluesrockreview.com. So we're going to be plugging that.
Wow.
I had a great talk this week with Pete Francis, the owner of that. And we're going to get Pete on. We're going to do an interview with him.
Very cool.
But the blues rock scene is a great niche. And there's a lot of people. What has happened is blues has kind of morphed.
Okay.
And these artists really are not really blues in the sense of Robert Johnson and Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters.
Yeah.
These guys are basically, what's happened is this is the rock from the late 60s and early 70s continued. So artists like I'm going to be writing a review for the new Eric Gales album.
Okay.
But guys like Eric Gales and Rival Sons and bands like that are really just went back to that sound, and they've just kind of continued that on. And I think there's a thread that runs through to people like Jack White and the Black Keys. They're all sort of kind of like have gone back to that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yardbirds, Joe Cocker, British blues rock invasion type sound.
Well, that's
I
fantastic.
was thinking about, we consider Johnny Winter a blues artist.
True.
But really, he was a rock artist. In the 70s,
exactly.
he was a rock. He was considered a rock artist. He played arenas.
Right.
So it's really exciting.
It's nice that this stuff is coming around again because it really is good music. It goes back to the original blues, but adds that kind of rock and roll twist to it.
Absolutely.
And it's a perfect marriage. Perfect marriage.
Right. What's cool is the artists that are out today that are doing this are taking it even in another direction, because these guys have all been influenced by what's happened since. So, like Eric's record has some hip hop influence in it.
Oh,
very cool. And like you hear bands like the Rival Sons, and they've got an influence from like post grunge and some influences from punk and alternative mixed in with that. So it's really that. The blues, like, it never goes away. It always comes back.
Oh, yeah.
It's always out there. It's good stuff.
Fantastic.
So, anyways, we've got a great band here. This is Shannon and the Merger, and you can find them. What I'm doing, I'm just looking at their Reverb Nation site right now. ReverbNation.com/Shannon and the Merger. These guys are a really fun band, and I've worked with them several times.
Right.
I think you guys worked with them?
I saw them.
You've seen them a few times.
At the Hard Rock. Yeah, fantastic.
On December 5th, they're going to be at Trios in Washington, and on the 6th, they're going to be at the Bell Vernon Musical Society in Bell Vernon, Pennsylvania. So this is they're known as a really great cover band. They do a lot of really good danceable pop and rock. But they have originals, too, and this is called Aim to Misbehave, Shannon and the Merger on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
I'm having one of those days where I just really need to get away, grinning madly while I'm on display. A proper girlie doesn't misbehave. She always smiles politely and averts her gaze. She keeps her knees closed tightly, never misbehaves. Now I'm a problem, you see, 'cause I just don't respect authority. I get bored with the conformity. to misbehave. Determined not to be another victim of morality. I have no patience for formalities, choose to eschew conventionality. So when you see me coming, and believe me you will, just leave your motor running, step away from the wheel. I aim to misbehave.
I think she aims to misbehave.
Do you want to go back to her place?
Yeah, I think so.
That is really cool. I did not know that Shannon the Merger had original tunes. Like I said,
and they're good.
They're actually very good.
I mean, I could definitely hear that, on the radio with anything that Sheryl Crow or anybody's like that.
Exactly.
I guess I'm showing my age when I say Sheryl Crow.
Who's that? No, I'm just kidding.
But hey, Shannon, nice job, and I'd like to thank Bob Giacometti for reaching out to me this week and saying, "Hey, we have songs. Would you play them?" So we are very happy, and it sounds great. You guys are doing
fantastic
good
job,
stuff. So please check them out next Friday at Trios in Washington, and then Saturday night, December 6th at Bell Vernon Musical Society. Reverb Nation / Shannon and the Merger. Yeah, that's hot. We have the Loudini Weenie coming up here.
This one makes me mad, folks.
Oh, Kevin's getting.
Calm
down. Calm down. You two your days spare. Knock it off right now.
Simmer down.
Our friends in Europe and on the West Coast aren't going to get that.
Nah. That's
reference.
That's Pittsburghese there,
Pittsburghese. Oh, wow. So anyways, so we have the Loudini Weenie coming up here in a little bit. But I think before we do that, I think we're going to play a little bit more music.
Yes.
Now, what the heck do I got coming up here? I have a screen. I have a computer screen that is... just really needs to be organized. It's just, I need to get organized.
And organized?
You know what that's from? Wow, do you get the reference? Wow. Kevin, you think about what reference that is as I play this band from Weirton, West Virginia called Verdict. Makes me wonder. Verdict on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
Take a picture.
think it makes him wonder.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder. Verdict, you can find them on the internet at verdictband.com. And let me just plug a couple of dates for these guys. Let's see what they got coming up here. Tonight, if you have time, actually we could go after we're done. They're playing up at Frankie Eyes in Washington.
Oh, there you go.
December 13th at the Mousetrap. The 19th at the Blue Steel Grill in Weirton. January 23rd at Triple Play, and January 31st at Downey House in Robinson.
There you go.
So, yeah, verdictband.com. Yeah, really aggressive, good hard rock,
Yeah, they are.
good band, very good stuff. Oh, my. Okay, so do you get the reference, Kevin?
No.
What?
I know this is horrible. It's probably something, as soon as you tell me what it is.
Organized.
Organized.
You ever see the movie Taxi Driver?
Let's see, there you go.
In the movie Taxi Driver,
decades.
he's got...
Decades.
He's in his apartment. He's got this sign that says, "I've got to get organized," and he thinks it's cute, and he uses that as a kind of a pickup line with Sybil Shepherd. He says, "I have this." I can't even do his voice right, but he does that in that sort of New York voice, you know. That I have this sign in my office that says, in my apartment, it says, "I got to get organized," and he thinks that's, and it's this real awkward but kind of sweet moment between him and Sybil Shepherd.
I'm going to use that from
organized. See if the chicks dig it.
I'm going to find out.
Okay, you're listening to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus with Lou Lombardi, Kevin O'Connor.
Hey.
And our sponsors, like to thank our sponsors once again, Click Vodka and Positively Pittsburgh Live.
Yeah.
Now it is time. I'm going to turn the microphone over to my good friend Kevin O'Connor. It is time for the Loudini Weenie. And with the Loudini Weenie this week goes to, Kevin? No, it doesn't go to you.
Doesn't go. No. What did I win? Nah. This week's Loudini Weenie goes to Henry Juskowitz. Who's Henry?
Who in the world is Henry Juskowitz?
Juskowitz? Who is this guy?
I woke up, I said, eat it. Who's Henry Juskowitz?
He is the CEO of Gibson Guitars.
What? What you talking about? What you talking about, Willis?
I know, because, I love Gibson guitars.
We loves Gibsons.
We love us some Gibsons, but here's the deal. Henry took over the company. Him and his investors took over the company in 1986 and basically saved Gibson Company.
Okay, all right.
Good job.
Okay, so far I'm not hearing a weenie here. What's going on? Speak to me.
Unfortunately, Henry now rules with an iron fist down at Gibson, and God.
Heil Henry!
Heil Henry! And goodness forsaken. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. God forbid is what I want to say.
God forbid.
That's what I want to say. God forbid you ask for a day off before or after a holiday. For example, Thanksgiving. One of the team leaders down there at Gibson asked for the day before Thanksgiving off. Probably to help, his wife or whatever.
Right.
No. Henry's like, no. Matter of fact, Henry went so far as to write a scathing email and send it out to the employees, pointing this guy out, saying, "We will not give days off before or after holidays." What a jerk.
Okay, wait a minute, though. But I mean, as a company, you have to have company policies, right?
Come on now, Lou. Come on now.
I mean, these guys probably have it itemized, like how much money they're going to lose if that one guy takes that day off.
They're going to lose $300,000. Well, that would be one guitar now, wouldn't it?
But okay, so
Henry. Apparently, there's other reports that Henry he has to sign off on everything.
Yeah, he's a micromanager.
He's very much so. Hiring, firing, promotions, demotions, down to ordering new parts for machines on the floor. He has to sign off on them. So, unfortunately, he's a big micromanager, kind of a jerk when it comes to taking care of his employees.
You've got to take care of the employees, man.
Exactly.
I run a couple of businesses, and I'm telling you, man, the employees are your right and left arms, and if
they're in the trenches, they're doing your work for you.
Yeah, man, you got to really take care of.
So Henry's getting the Loudini Weenie this week for not giving one of his guys a day off before Thanksgiving.
Dead weenie. Okay, last week.
All right.
Thank you, Kevin, for the Loudini Weenie. Why, pleasure. Why, pleasure. We thank you, Lord. No. Somehow we just channeled the Three Stooges. What is going on tonight? There's not enough Click Vodka. Is the problem.
Apparently.
We're going to drink some more Click Vodka. When you guys are going to listen to Sandi Thom. Last week I said her name wrong. So we're playing her again. This is Help Me.
Sandy.
Sandy's a L.A. blues rocker. Great voice, great song. You're going to enjoy this. It's called Help Me. Sandi Thom on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Sandi Thom.
Oh, you did that on purpose. You mispronounced her name last week just so we get to hear her again, didn't you? That's got to be it, man. That's fantastic.
Sandy, great job.
Wow.
She says in the song, I might even mop the floor. We were just looking at your photos.
Yeah.
I don't think, I think the man is mopping your floor.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, yes.
We will travel.
Cooking your meal.
We will travel to mop your floor. I'm just saying. Wow.
Great job.
Fantastic.
Great job. And please visit her Reverb Nation page for more downloads. ReverbNation.com/Sandi. That's with an I. SandiThom. So good stuff there. The blues. See, the blues still lives, man. So what were you trying to tell me before we went on the air about people don't want to hear the Beatles anymore? What's the matter with this Kevin guy over here? He's losing it.
Hold on now. Well, let me tell you, our opening today, WKRP, the first couple of words, I knew exactly what it was.
Right.
I knew exactly what that clip was. And I heard another podcast where people were talking about the Brady Bunch, and people don't quote the Brady Bunch like they used to do back in our day, because we grew up watching the Brady Bunch, so we were always like, Marcia, 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 or pork chops and applesauce, right? Nobody quotes it anymore because it's not on anymore. So that got me thinking. I'm like, wow, I wonder if other, like, pop culture things.
Baby talk. It's a wonder you can walk.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So then I started thinking about other pop culture that I thought was going to be around forever, one of them being the Beatles. I thought the Beatles' music was going to be around for hundreds and hundreds of years, much like Mozart, Beethoven. But when I talk to the kids today, they all, cite bands, and those bands aren't influenced by the Beatles. Their bands today are actually influenced by bands that were influenced by the Beatles. You know what I mean?
Okay. So in other words, we're getting to the point where like maybe a couple generations removed from the Beatles.
Right. And it may come to the point where, you may say to some 15-year-old kid, hey, you want to learn how to play Hey Jude? And he'll be like, what?
Well, that is interesting.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're right or
I hope I'm not right.
If that's
a
worldwide phenomenon, but I know that when you go to learn, when you pick up the guitar and people want to learn the guitar,
right,
they still want to learn Hendrix.
Yeah.
They still want the kids. They want to know Hendrix. They want to know Van Halen. They want to know Cream. They want to know Led Zeppelin.
All right.
They so in that aspect. Also, I think that in terms of the songwriting, I don't know. We'll have to look it up maybe for the next show. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
But I think that there probably have been some recent Beatle remakes that may have showed up maybe in some movies, television shows maybe that people are grooving to. Yeah. So but you're right, and it doesn't have the same impact. But is there in terms of pop music, and with the sort of American Idol culture that we have, rock stars being manufactured on game shows and all that.
Yes.
I mean, is there even a tradition anymore? I mean, do artists even do? It seems to me like the whole idea of we've got the Who going in the background here. It seems to me like people just don't have the roots.
Right.
Or at least it's not in mainstream culture like maybe it was even maybe 10, 15 years ago. I don't know if I'm maybe making
No, do you mean
sense.
the music itself, the rock and roll music?
Well,
itself,
what I mean, not the rock and roll music itself,
how
but
the bands come to being.
Well, how the bands come to being,
right,
but the idea of roots. I'm trying to kind of think about how I want to say this. It was everybody always knew everybody's roots. I mean, it was like the metal bands from the '80s always were like Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath.
Okay, I see.
And Bad Company.
Right.
And then when the metal bands, I'm just using metal as an example. That came in the mid '90s. Late '90s, whatever. They cited bands like Saxon, and in the late '70s, sort of heavy. Even Metallica was in with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see a lot of people kind of like holding up roots, and I'm just kind of wondering, and a lot of people today feel like today's music is crap. And I'm not one of those people, because it's easy to say that because we're older,
right?
And it isn't what we typically would listen to. What we like. But I'm just not sure that with it because it's become so neat. There's so many niches. Is what I'm trying to say.
So many ways to get the
exactly,
music.
and I'm kind of questioning if maybe the kids don't. I mean, if I feel like the radio's irrelevant, I feel like I'm sure that kids feel like the radio's irrelevant. They're finding their music on the internet.
So. Right.
I mean, what are your kids finding stuff on the internet?
Exactly.
They're going digging for stuff that they want to hear.
Right.
So I'm not so sure that even the pop culture that is sort of being presented to us via television, the networks, and all that is even really what's happening. It's like it's like a
corporate version of
it's a corporate version of something that they think might be happening. But I think if you go to the grassroots, if you go to the clubs, if you go to the internet, you're going to find out really much more of what's really happening. And I think you're going to hear bands that will say, no, we loved Nirvana and we loved U2 and we loved the Clash.
Exactly.
And those bands really kind of like, so then and I think that might be there, but I think that it's kind of being masked under this sort of I just call it the American Idol culture. This sort of like uber pop. It's all about how sensational it can be without there being a whole lot of substance. It just appears that way to me, maybe because I'm a older gentleman.
I'm
mature. So, but anyway, speaking of being mature, let's be mature and play some great rock and roll for everybody. We'll just quit blabbering. This is our good friends Highway 4. You Don't Know on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus with Lou Lombardi and Kevin O'Connor.
I tried so hard, but my love couldn't satisfy.
Highway 4. Good job, man. I just want to give a real quick shout to Mike Angert, who's the lead guitar player in that band. That solo was burning, Mike. It was freaking burning, dude. Kevin and I are going to come take some guitar lessons.
Definitely.
Nice job, buddy.
I was thinking about Mike when we were talking about influence and stuff like that, and when we were talking to Mike up at Peter B's, just, some of the influence he's a young kid, man. He's a young kid, and he was citing stuff that I was influenced by when I was his age. So, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, the bands that I grew up with aren't out in the forefront, but they're in there. They're in the blood of today's rock and roll.
Well, the thing of it is, too, like we said, it's so spread out now.
Right.
When we were coming up, you could turn on the radio, and you could hear a real sort of, it was less homogenized.
Right.
I like, there's a station on Sirius called Octane, and it's very cool. It's like the new hard rocks. But after you listen to it for an hour, you start to everything kind of has the same, sounds the same. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to tell the bands apart. Whereas there was a time when it wasn't like that, when the bands were very, very different. You could hear Black Sabbath and then hear Tom Petty.
Right.
It was, you know what I mean, and it was all considered rock and roll. Yeah. So I think that people are hungry. They want to hear great music, and they go out and find it. I mean, that's why people listen to us, and that's why people listen to other podcasts. But anyways, so I think we're getting towards the end, though, of tonight. I think this is a good place to wrap up.
Yeah.
We're going to play one more band. I'd just like to thank all the bands we've had tonight so far. We've had Satin Hearts. You can find them at thesatinhearts.com. Shannon and the Merger. Great job, guys. That is a beautiful song. Aim to Misbehave. Very sexy. That's like a getting busy song.
Yes, sir. Hey, now.
Makes Me Wonder by Verdict. You guys are like a butt-kicking band.
Yeah, you are.
You're an ass-kicking band. Screw it. You guys sounded
say it.
You guys kick some ass.
You earned it.
Good job. We had Sandi Thom once again. Help me. Sandi Thom from Los Angeles. Thank you so much, Sandy. You sounded great. We love it. You Don't Know. That was Highway 4. That was the last jam we just played. And speaking of bands that we've hung out with, Wine and Spirit was a cool band.
Yeah.
Cool band. Yeah, so we met those guys up there at Peter B's at the Oktoberfest. And so we're going to round out tonight's show with Wine and Spirit off their latest album, Against All Odds. Just like to once again thank our sponsors, Click Vodka and Positively Pittsburgh Live. Kevin, do you have any announcements right now? Anything going on with you?
I have no announcements.
All right.
Sad to say.
Kevin and I are going to go do something after this. It's early, so we're going to see if we can go get into some trouble. Okay, guys, thanks so much. Listen to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. You can find us on the internet at LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. Tweet us at LLStrangelove. All right, Wine and Spirit, The Soul, off their album Against All Odds. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you, guys.
Rock on.
You played the right tune, this song goes out to you. You got the soul, you're rocking me. You got the soul, you're rocking me. You got the soul, you're rocking me. The crystal ball, it shines, I see it in your eye. You got the soul, you're rocking me. Side. Give me protection, show me affection of love when it rains. Last gone for my pain, we're going down. You got the soul, you're rocking me. You got the soul, you're rocking me. You got the soul, you're rocking me. The crystal ball, it shines, I see it in your eyes. Got the soul, you're rocking me. balcony.